The last ban list we received wasn't exactly that big, but was a huge game changer. The loss of Firewall, Armageddon Knight to 1, and Malicious to 2 really showed what it could do to the meta. But with this sort of stuff done, Konami didn't really do enough on the previous ban list, and for good purposes. With Firewall dragging out of the way, they could truly see what the meta showed. As could we players see that. So this is my ban list prediction for the January 2019 ban list, which hopefully we'll be getting in January. I hope so, because otherwise this will be looking stupid. If it comes out in February, I'll be pretty frustrated. But it should come out hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Um, I think this is going to be a huge ban list and really will do well on the game. So without further ado, let's go into it. So the first deck that I'm going to be starting off with Sky Strikers. In my opinion, Sky Strikers are the best deck in the game right now. Though they did not win Sydney, it's the most consistent deck in the game, and I think there are two cards that could be hit and should be hit. The first card is Sky Striker Mecha Modules multi-roll. This card is wrong. This card just like the second effect of it, of recycling, is not that half bad, but the fact that you can prevent your opponent from responding to your effects is just wrong. It should not be allowed, and overall, it is just a broken way of playing against this deck. I mean, the fact that you can't really respond to you can't respond is ridiculous. It pretty much just makes your opponent just have to put their cards down for the rest of the turn. You can't respond to with like things like Ash Blossom. You can't, use Twin Twisters on things. It's just wrong. It basically provides too much protection for the deck, and personally, the deck can still do very well even without the card. My opinion, this card should either go to 1 or be banned. I personally think banning it would be, in my opinion, better because that way, it just allows your opponent to truly play against the deck and be able to respond. I mean, even without this card, the deck is fine, and I'm totally against killing decks, which is why I have not put Engage on here, but I think multi-roll to either 1 or 0 is really, really fair. Next card is Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor. This card is just the ultimate stun card, in my opinion. Not only is it a negate, but it actually steals at the same time, and my opinion, that's a little bit too strong. Adding on to that, you can recycle it with Kagari back to your hand. You can even, use multi-roll. Ha. And it's searchable off engage, which I think personally should not be hit. I think Mecha Widow Anchor should either, actually not even should either. I think it just should go to 2 because 2 I think is very balanced. It's really puts it in check, and it's just not extra. I think really having the capability to steal your opponent's monsters and just completely stun them for the rest of the turn is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that you can actually use it as link material as well, well, that's just nuts. So I personally think Widow Anchor should be just going to should go to 2. Very safe, very fair. Next deck I want to talk about is Thunder Dragons. So one of the newer decks of the uh, of the game in Soul Fusion from Soul Fusion. I think Thunder Dragons are going to get hit, but more indirectly. So you have to give me the benefit of the doubt here. I really don't understand, but I've got 3 cards that I could potentially go for: Thunder Dragon Roar, Battery Man Solar, and Gold Sark. So Thunder Dragon Roar, the only reason why I say this is because this is pretty much the card that, every Thunder Dragon deck uses. Of course, I don't even know, man. You can just discard the card and then add a Thunder Dragon that's banished back to you, like, or in your graveyard. Like, this is the only reason why I think this card might get hit. It's just because it's a recycle card. But yeah, at the same time, I don't understand the deck whatsoever. So you have to really give me the benefit of the doubt. I mean, Jesse Cotton's variant really just showed me just like, wow, this deck is just so innovative on what it does. But I put Batteryman Solar here. I from one of my locals that I go to. I hear people have been talking about this card. Just the fact that it's a token generator, uh, it's a bit strong. But then there's Gold Sarcophagus, which could really go to one. I don't know, banishing a card face up and then second standby phase after activation, add that card to your hand. Like, ignore the second part, the standby phase part. No one cares about that. If you banish it from your deck, that's basically like a free banish version of Foolish Burial. Like that's pretty nutty. So I think personally this card could go to one, because this deck really shows that banishing um, is banishing for free is a little bit ridiculous. So, loads of decks can benefit from that. And I think at one, the card's fair. It's just equivalent as Foolish Bearer. And I think it'd just go to one and just stay there, right? It's just that sort of card. But that's it for that, for Thunders. I really don't know how else to hit them. Altergeist are the next deck I want to talk about, and the only card that I think really could just be hit is Multifaker to maybe to two or maybe one. I think two would be fair. But then at the same time, I think maybe personal spoofing could go to two at the same time. Like my opinion here is, if you hit all the other decks, Altergeist are just going to will show off that they are the best deck. So I think, in my opinion, the best hits that you can go for is maybe Multifaker to two and spoofing to two. I think that is very fair. It doesn't kill the deck or anything. The deck will still be very, very good, very, very playable at the same time. I think it still will top, but we'll just put it back in check and just make sure that the deck isn't exactly going to go out of control, just like what people thought Pendulum were going to be after after it just came out after what's it called? Electromite just came out. They just banned away so many cards, so many pendulum cards, and then still look what happened. The deck was one of the best in the format. I think multi-faker to two, spoofing to two puts the deck in check. Very safe, not broken whatsoever. So yeah. Next, I want to talk about is the Dark Wario decks. I mean, I play the deck right now. I really enjoy playing it, but there are a few cards I want to talk about. So Armageddon Knight is actually the first one. I think putting this to one was a mistake. It's not enough. It really isn't. It's not enough. Like I don't know if you guys know this. They still have the card hit in the OCG. I believe it's at two or one, and we're getting the Guard Dragons soon as well, and you only need the Guard Dragons and one Armageddon Knight, and you've FTK'd your opponent with the Gandora at FTK. Really, I think this card should really be at zero. I don't think it will get hit because I think Konami are just going to be like, right, we're going to hit everything else, not Armageddon Knight. But really, I think Armageddon Knight should have just been banned and really should be banned. It's fucking ridiculous. Considering you can summon it off Isold as well, it's just ridiculous. Summon Sorceress is one card I want to mention. Now, this card I don't think will be hit, and for good measures. The reason people are going to think of me thinking like, wow, you're actually saying Summon Sorceress could stay? Yes, it can. The reason for this is because if you hit away cards like Gumblar and all that, this card can stay for a bit longer. Don't get me wrong, it eventually will be banned, but considering Europe, here in Europe, we've just got it about like what 1 or 2 months ago. It's just not fair to hit it right now. It's just not right. So I think leaving Summon Sorceress just for maybe one more format is fair, just like what they did with Norden, but not let it last for that long. So I think Summon Sorceress can stay where it is. Gunblar is next. I don't really need to say about anything about this card. Ripping your opponent for 6 cards out of their hands in one turn is just wrong. It's wrong. It's not supposed to be. It's not Yu-Gi-Oh! It's bullshit. It's just complete bullshit. I think this card should just be flat out banned. No question. No comment. If anyone has anything to say, then you got to be smoking crack because really this card cannot stay. Um, Rongo and number 75 both have something in common here, and the reason why I'm more for this is gonna be guys are gonna be very against me for saying this. I think that number 75 is more dangerous than number 86, and the reason for this is because this is pretty much one of the most abusable effects I have ever seen of being able just to like target another XYZ and then just equip them with the materials is utterly insane. if you have another card that has a similar effect to Rongo of just having like more materials, a different effects get supplied, I think is it's wrong. It's wrong. It should not be allowed, especially when the effects are this ridiculous. Like having the ability to just make your opponent not play Yu-Gi-Oh is just not a right way of playing. Like number 86 alone is bullshit. The card is bullshit. Should be banned. Because it just prevents your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, I play the card myself. It's dumb. It is dumb. But Gossip Shadow just having the ability to equip cards from that it already has. You can. It's not right. It's not a right way of playing the cards, the playing the game, and not right playing the right way of playing playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Just having the ability to equip. And if the, Konami make different XYZs in the future that allow them to have these sorts of effects that like what Rongo does like more material, more effects, then it's going to be abused. And I think cards that get abused in the way that they weren't intended to be used in the first place should really go. And this is why I'm saying this about number 75. Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, the OCG did the same thing. They banned the card. I think we should ban it too because this card grants too much hand advantage. It's not a hard once per turn, and overall is just ridiculous. I think personally, Phoenix Blade should just be put to zero, and that way, really, it just like allows their soul to be, well, I'd like to say used in the right way, but yeah, actually, yeah, no, it actually does allow a soul to be used in the right way because the whole thing with it is no matter what happens, even if you summon a level 1 monster, you always send Phoenix Blade. Always, because the whole thing with Phoenix Blade is that it's all you have to do is just banish 2 warriors and then you get it back to your hand and there's more hand advantage. And the synergy that the card has with Gumblar is just ridiculous because you keep adding it back to your hand, giving you hand advantage, and then you trigger off Gumblar's effects and then discarding. It's nuts. It's bonkers. I really think this card needs to be banned. Soul Charge, next card on the list, I think really should be put to zero. This card is very badly designed. Of course, just like, people will say like, yeah, but you pay 1,000 life points for each monster. That doesn't even matter anymore. Like, if you can, use Soul Charge and make a Rongo and make a Rongo, that that just shows that how stupid the card can be. Like, you lose like 7,000 life points. I mean, of course, you're not going to lose 7,000 life points, but example, you can lose 7,000 life points, but Soul Charge will still make your opponent not play Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think this card should be banned. Cheeky hits. Now, this I really wanted to add in. This is just a few cards that I think Konami might hit. Just on the slide, just in case. Either that or they're going to make some silly mistakes like they always do. So this isn't coming to my opinion. Aqua Dolphin. Ripping cards out of your opponent's hand is wrong, especially when it's not a hard once per turn, and you can special summon it back again with Neospace Connector. I would have put Connector here, but Connector's too much of a new card, so I think Aqua Dolphin could be put to zero. But yeah, that's yeah. Mathematician, the card got put in the OCG to 1 when it was, I believe, at 3. We have it at 2 here, and I think it could even go back to 1. The card basically just allows you to to send cards to graveyard for free, and well, for the cost of yeah, no, it's free actually. And when it gets sent to graveyard by battle, draw a card. And I think that's wrong. Tomahawk, token generator. Yeah, Nessie, level 7, Searcher, goes into Tomahawk, 2, potentially. And then Glow Up Bulb and Steam the Cloak, Needle Fiber, for Glow Up Bulb and Blackwing Steam the Cloak, Needle Fiber. Both very abusable in the wrong way, probably put to zero. And then Maxi, Shuret, and El Shadol Construct. Shuret because it's been confirmed that the Necros are getting reprints. Construct should have came off ages ago. And Maxi, you people who thought Maxi should have been banned ages ago are basically looking like you've got egg on your face because you now want the card back. The card should never have been banned in the first place. And look at what we've seen now. We've got too many FTKs. And yeah. Uh, Zenmighty, Hunter. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.